So this side of my racking system's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. It's my own fault. So when I set up these top ones, the top row of tanks, I was trying to do like a different aquascape in each one, but I made them too complicated. What I mean by that is, you know, it's just another thing to try and maintain. When you maintain big tanks, it seems to be just a lot easier because you've got very clear, you know, picture in front of you of what needs to happen. Whereas when you've got a lot of small little ones, you can become a little bit lazy. I'll just do the main things you can see, leave the whatever, you know. I mean, basically, I'm just making excuses for being lazy, but it's all gone to poop. Not this side. This side's looking great. I'm loving that, loving everything about that one. But this side, the top row especially, the bottom one is more like a reserve, if you like, for like when I get new fish or something to put them in. More like a quarantine section, but unofficially. But this top section here is, I don't know how to explain it. Very recently I've used some glutaraldehyde to kill off any of the remaining sort of algae on it because I want to take them all apart, start again, simplify everything, take it right back to basics, how a shrimp tank is kind of supposed to be. I really miss having the shrimp and being able to see them. And to see them, you need to keep it quite simple, like mainly just one flat substrate, a piece of wood maybe, which will bring the pH down slightly, which is also good. And then, you know, a little bit of moss attached to it, just a little bit, because moss gets out of control in no time at all. It does in my case anyway. Some people are like, how does your moss grow so fast? Well, it doesn't. It grows as fast as your moss. It's just I've got so many tanks that it all comes at once. And you're like, too much moss. And then I hate chucking stuff away as well. So I tend to try and propagate it, and then it just amplifies the problem. So I think the first thing I'm going to need to do, shut everything down, take the water out, and then I'm going to have to take out all the shrimp that are still left. Now, I haven't got a huge amount left. Remember, all the crystals died out. My fault. I think it might have been because I was dosing that tank with fertiliser that had copper in. One of my subscribers actually commented that down below, and I was like, duh, of course, you can't put copper in it. So I don't know why I dosed it, because the tank was doing great with just the aqua soil. Oh yeah, and I had some root tabs in the aqua soil as well. So yeah, it was all doing it great. I didn't need to change anything. I don't know why I did that. So yeah, let's stop all the filters, let's take out the water. I'm gonna put a load of the substrate from one of the tanks into a storage tank, put all of the shrimp that are remaining in there. I can, you know, filter them out and take out ones that go in later on, and then just start a whole fresh system. I mean, it's not gonna be like, woo, look at those aquascapes, but it should look really nice and also be really good for the shrimp. And for me, to be honest, I can enjoy it more then. So that's most of the water out. We've obviously got some left so you can see what shrimp we've got, but we need to take everything out now, then we can see what we're working with. So here we are, here's the head count. Down here in the crystal blacks, we've got 5 good, healthy ones. I'm pretty sure we've got a male and 4 females, hopefully. The sun-kissed yellow neos, I don't even know what they're called actually, none left. Gutted about that because they were doing really well at one point. I've just, you know, I didn't see them obviously dying off, which would signify that there's a problem. So yeah, a couple of days ago I saw a few swimming around and thought, well, the rest must be hiding. Again, another reason why I want to change all this. As we said, the crystal reds all gone, nothing in there, but the black and blues and mixed Neocaridinas down here, thriving. There's loads of them. And I've even taken a bunch out of here to spread the colony into other tanks as well. So that's actually really, really good. And it does mean that we can keep another really strong colony going in at least one of the tanks. I might even split these into 2. And so we've got 2 tanks of those just for like, you know, security, added measure, you know, in case one of them goes wrong again. I'm going to order more of the black crystals, and I'm going to get a load more of the red crystals because both of those are my actual favourites. But for now, I'm going to scoop out the remaining black crystals. They're going to go down in one of these tanks down here, and then I'm going to put all of these ones in one of the tanks as well. And in terms of all the filters, I've got them down here in this bucket this is tank water, not tap water, so that'll keep all the bacteria on them alive. Even the one that wasn't working well, it'll still have, you know, a coating of beneficial bacteria, and that'll be a really good start. It just means that as soon as I'm setting them up, I can put the shrimp back in. I'll have to feed the tanks, obviously, because they'll be clean. There won't be like a film of algae, but at least the filter will be cycled. So just make sure, build up that biofilm and also the algae. I mean, this light's pretty powerful and close, so there'll be algae in no time at all, don't worry about that. And obviously this isn't ideal, guys. It's not great when something doesn't work, but I feel I have to show you this because you can't just go along and like have problems yourself and think, well, people on YouTube don't have problems. It's always problems. Every single person you see on YouTube has problems. They just don't show you all of them because it doesn't look good. I don't care if it looks good or if it doesn't look good. It's real, you know? It didn't work. My inexperience, it's my fault. It's always my fault because well, sometimes it's not your fault. If one shrimp is dying randomly every few months, you can probably put that down to that individual shrimp. But if a whole colony is wiped out, it's your fault for sure. I don't know why I'm laughing at that. It's not funny. It's a nervous laugh. But I'm going to try and learn from it, and I'm going to try and do better again, you know, rather than just quitting and giving up, which most people do, especially with Caridina shrimp, because you've got to get it right. So since I've actually set these up and noticed things going wrong, I did even more research and found out more stuff that I didn't even know, which was like keeping that pH lower. You know, this is why the catappa leaves are really important. So I'm going to make sure you've got those in there as well. They'll bring the pH down. Bogwood, and then a good sort of active substrate as well. I'm going to be using an aqua soil that doesn't release ammonia as well. Click subscribe. Okay, so far so good. 3 of the 4 tanks are completely clean. There you go, looking spick and span. But this one here I've kept in because I want to use all of this substrate as like the base layer for the newest setups. I think it's just like really good. It's full of beneficial bacteria. The Africana ADA soil here has worked really well with those bee shrimp. I mean, I've only got 5 left. I think I had 8, 9, 10, something like that to begin with. That's pretty good going considering the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I've tested all my water and all of my parameters actually come out pretty good, almost bang on what they need to be. The only thing is I need to bring my pH down slightly, so that's what I'm going to be using the catappa leaves for. KH, GH, all on what is recommended. I'll put up on the screen here what is recommended because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did check it all. This explains why in the past I've actually had some really good results breeding the crystal reds. I did have like a really simple setup for them. Breeding like crazy worked really well, so that's why I want to go back to this again. Like I say, there's plenty of tanks where I can still do scapes on for cube aquariums, but these need to be dedicated to my shrimp. Okay, there we go. Those are the base layers done. On top of that now goes the 88 Africana, which I've just found works really well. Because not only did it work well in that tank there, I've also got it in this tank here with a load of Caridina shrimp, which are doing great. There's little babies and they're swimming around everywhere in this tank. You know, we got them on the side walls. Whoa, the white balance has gone really weird. But yeah, they're just dotted about. They're eating their little bits of Fred algae that are growing nicely in specific areas for now. And yeah, really happy with it overall. Right, carry on. Okay, there we go, looking good. Kind of run out at the end there, but you know, there's enough. It'll be fine. Let's just fill up with water now, get those filters running again, and then I can start putting in the little bit of decoration, the bogwood, bits of Java ferns and moss and that sort of thing right at the back. There we go, we've got our water in. This one's very murky. That's because I accidentally put it on full power when the spout bit was right in the soil. My bad, and never mind. It'll clear in no time once we get the you know, the filters in. Speaking of which, let's just put them in now, get all that water circulating and get it good. So there is 2 running, and you can actually see how much flow it actually produces. Look at all of those sort of air bubbles and particles going around everywhere. You're getting it everywhere in the tank. I have seen these spouts here sort of shoot forwards as well with like a right angle bend, but I don't have those. But either way, yeah, all good so far. Fit the other 2. Right, so I've been away, had some lunch, come back. Look at that. Absolutely crystal clear. The thing is, with sponge filters, like the water is so clear. Whenever you watch anyone on YouTube, if I see like absolutely crystal clear water, like completely clear, I mean, not even small particles, it's normally because of sponge filters. They just work so well for that. Anyway, next up, we need to put something in there for, you know, greenery, because it wouldn't be a tank to me without green in it. Also, it's a really good idea to put some bogwood in there to get that pH down. Gives the shrimp as well something to graze on, and overall I think it will just look so much better with something like that in there. It'll improve water quality, keep down on nuisance algae, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to be using is this stuff. Hang on. Yeah, we've got some bogwood here. This one's wet, so that should sink. I'm hoping all of these will sink. I mean, that feels dense, so hopefully that's going to sink as well. They've got a couple of smaller pieces and then another one. So there's four there, so I'm going to put those together. So that's 5 technically, but you know, 4 tanks. So first of all, I want to wrap moss on it, and then I can attach Java ferns and Anubias as well. Now for the moss, I'm going to take cuttings from this tank. This is basically my moss propagation tank. I mean, it's really healthy moss, so looking good. I just pull bits out, Then I'll break it up and just, whoa, sorry little buddy, am I frightening you? Good little Amano shrimp worker. See you later. Yeah, so I'm just gonna rip some out and then I'll put it on the wood and wrap it up with some cotton, and it just works really well like that. Right, so this is really simple. You basically just need some cotton. Green is good, black is good, you know. Oh, my phone's ringing. Hang on. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is so simple. You want to take your moss that you've just trimmed or bought. You can buy it in the pots, obviously, can't you? You just stick it on like that, for instance. Get some of your cotton, which I can't pick up. There we go. Wrap it around a few times just so that it's locked in, like that. And then go. Wrap, wrap, wrap. Keep it nice and tight. Now, the moss will actually use the cotton as its own sort of framework to lock down. But this is a really good way of keeping stuff proper secure and tight onto the wood as well. I'll just bring it closer for you. There you go. So yeah, loop it round and round and round as many times as you feel necessary. And then all you've got to do is tie off the cotton. The way I do that is I loop it back on itself, like that. Put a couple of twists in the loop you've made. Push it through, and then pull it tight until it sort of locks itself. Like that, and then I can trim it. Well, I could if I had some scissors. I never have the tools available when I need them, so yeah, put it tight. There we go, snip. The worst scissors ever. Oh my, are you joking me? Hang on. So pull that back tight. Oh, no, there we go. It did cut, I was just being silly. Right, so basically what we've got now is a few little, oh, a snail just fell out. See that loose bit there? Don't really want that. Cut that loose. Cut off any loose bits. You know, just keep it nice and tight to the wood and it will just look so much better as you put it into the water. There we go. It's a nice little bit like that. Looking good. I also want to attach some Java fern, and to do that we can just use a little bit of the cyanoacrylate super glue gel on the back there and just stick it at the top. Yeah, there we go, look. Nice little piece. I'm going to stick that to the back. Just like that there. And that should just look good in the tank then on its own. Bung the glue onto that section and then just press the rhizome up against it, look. Hold it for about 10 seconds or so and then, you know, it should be on. Turn it around and voila, there we have it, in the tank. Oh yes, we're looking fantastic. Next up, we need to put in the catappa leaf, like I said. This is just really good for the water quality, for the shrimp to graze on. That will just float, so I've got a little pebble just to sit on top of it to hold it down, you know, whilst it's getting waterlogged. Sweet, and last but not least, because it's very bright there without a load of plants in there, it's going to get algified in no time at all. We want to put on the top some salvinia. There we go, one down, 3 more to go. Just gonna crack on with this and get it sorted. I'm really looking forward to getting those shrimp back in. Well, not that I've got many, but you know what I mean, to get the whole thing started properly again. Oh, there we go, guys, we're looking sick. It looks so good. And do you know what? I absolutely love the contrast between the bottom rack and then the top rack. I think it looks really, really good. You know, there's no denying that it's quite a plain look, but that's what I want to go for. I want to be able to see these shrimp. Like I said, there's 4 more tanks down there that we can still do scapes on. I mean, this one is still technically a nice little scape look that's got the Santa Claus in. What are they, Santa Claus? They're a type of crystal red. Doing very well, actually. Although you can't see any at the moment, which is always the case when I go to show them off. No, I'm going to find them because you need to see them. They're so good looking. Okay, I found one. She or he is right down there. See, this is why I wanted to change the whole setup, to be able to see. Look, we can see everything now when it's in there, but when you do the scape, you can't see them. Sometimes it's really nice to put them into a scape, but then that's because you've already done something really nice and you just want to add some shrimp to it. But if you're doing shrimp tanks properly, you know, you want to see the shrimp. I need to see if there's any issues going on, if we're getting any die off, if the food's being eaten or if it's just sitting, you know, fouling or whatever. This is so cool. I absolutely love the look. Oh, there's a funny little rock here. I noticed that this one was starting to float up and I didn't want it to do that, so just put that on to rest it down for the time being. But yeah, all of them have got a catappa leaf in. This one not so much. I've ordered some more though, so that should be coming soon. We've got our little feeding bowls in each one. Now remember, all of these plants have been in other setups, so they're going to have loads of beneficial bacteria on them. Some of the wood has, all the salvinia has, and remember the soil underneath has as well. So, and the filters. So we've got more than enough cycled, matter inside each tank to mean that there is fully safe to put our shrimp into straight away. Just notice that this is the wrong way round. Turn. Anyway, a minor issue, I don't know why I'm worried about that. It's time to get the shrimp in. Now this is all fresh tap water, it's all different to what they're actually in at the moment. So what I'm going to do is drip acclimate each type, well, I've only got a few types in there. I put them over in this bowl ready to take out because I knew I wouldn't find them if I put them down in these tanks. I'll be there for ages, so they've been in this bowl just while we've been sorting this all out. I think we've got like 10 or something Neocaridina, and we've got 5 of the Caridina, the black and white crystals. So yeah, I'll do the crystals first. So we've got the 5 Caridina in there. I'm just going to put them there, and then we can just use some airline tube and a valve just to drip acclimate them over time. This will take about 30 minutes to be honest. You've got to do it nice and carefully so you don't shock them, and then it causes problems later down when they try to molt or something. And they don't die straight away apparently, it kills them later on, which is what the mistake I think I've made before is thinking, oh, they're okay, so yeah, all good. But I don't actually think that is the case. So yeah, drip acclimate. There we go, it's now been about an hour actually. I did like half an hour each. Accidentally filled this one a little bit too much. I forgot about it and come back and I was like, ah! So yeah, I'm going to be putting the black crystals in this one, hopefully going to be putting some red crystals in this one, and then it's going to be the Neocaridina, which are a mix actually of black sakura and blue dreams. Now, why are you mixing them? Well, they've been mixed for a while. And then what I'm hoping to do is pick out any of the really good blues and move them across or into another one. I'm not even sure yet, but it'd be fun to watch what the offspring, if we have, well, we will have some because they've been breeding really, really well for me. So I'm going to, pick out the best ones of those and put them in another tank. I might even do the similar sort of thing down the bottom here that I've done up there because it just does look so good. Can't wait to see all the shrimp swimming around. Speaking of which, let's put in the black crystals first. Right then, here we go, black crystals oh no, I can't fit it in. Can I get that under there? Let's put them in gently. I'm just going to pour it like that and then just turn it upside down so that they sort of swim out on their own. There we go. Oh, you can see them so clearly. It's so good. Yes, why didn't I just do this from the start? This is like a proper shrimp tank now. And I can see why the shrimp breeders do it like this completely. You can see everything, look. I keep saying that, don't I? But it's so true. Beautiful little specimens here. I'm not sure on the grades, to be honest. I think the more white, the higher the grade. So like that one and that one there's probably a good grade. This one at the back here, probably not so much, but I don't care about that. I just think they're cool either way. Right, so that's those guys sorted. Hopefully they're happy. And now moving on to the Neocaridina. Right guys, in you go as well. Same method. Hopefully this slots under. There we go. Now nice and gently. I'm not even pouring, to be honest. Oh, one's gone already. There we go. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7. Maybe 8. I don't even know. So yeah, these guys stand out less, but when there's a bunch of them all going around, we should be able to see them even better. I mean, I had in this tank, remember they were in this tank here, not like that, but when it was set up differently, I must have had about 50 at one point, and I only started with 10, and I just shifted them all about into the different tanks. Like I say, I put some in that tank there and some in the other studio, just to make sure that they weren't, at risk of any sort of crashes, killing the whole lot off. So we've got a good little group here to hopefully start. I will order some more as well to add to that gene pool, just because I want to see more and more. But that is awesome. Absolutely loving this for a start. And let's not forget, guys, we also need to feed the shrimp. Now, there's not a lot in here, so we don't need a huge amount. This is just a pipe. I'm going to send the food down so it sits in that bowl. It's coming down. I promise. It's coming. It's coming. Here it is, yay! Yeah, just a little bit like that. They'll all sort of fight over it and pick off bits that they want. And the same again in this tank. Down you go, la la la, in. We scored. Yeah, tiny little bit. You don't need a lot because there's barely any shrimp at the moment. So we're doing things properly this time, guys. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm trying to achieve. Hopefully you agree with me. I cannot wait to get more and more shrimp breeding. If I can get tons of these really cool shrimp breeding, I can put them in just normal aquascapes as well, and hopefully it continues in those. But you know, it is always harder because fish tend to pick off the babies. But you never know, I have seen it done successfully, so hopefully we can do the same. If you have enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you on the next one.